Hello, dear BSc second semester student. Today I will continue with the same topic, aldehyde and ketones. So, which already basic ideas of all these aldehyde ketones you may come across by going through my videos. So, what are aldehydes? What are ketones? And certain reactions. That part I have discussed last episode. Now, in this episode 2, I would like to remind some of the points which I have discussed last time. And today I want to go for certain chemical reactions pertaining to these aldehydes and ketones. That I want to say that the reactions of aldehydes, ketones, particularly mechanism involved in them, because if in the beginning if you understand the mechanism, then I think it's so there is no problem for understanding the rest of the mechanisms prescribed for the various reactions. So during this epidemic condition, again I would like to say, keep yourself healthy, have good food, have sound sleep, not to leave the home. Mask is mandatory. Without mask, even at home also, you cannot move. That is the best way to prevent it from corona. Social distance is must, and the thing is, if health is there, everything is with you. If health is not there, then it's very difficult to survive yourself and your family, and everyone will be in the risk. So please remember, mask, social distance are the two important tools that will keep you away from the corona. Okay, with this slogan, let us move to aldehydes and ketones. So already I have given the structures. A carbonyl group, C double bond O with two valencies, is the basic structure required for both aldehyde and ketones. If the two valencies are satisfied by one by alkyl or aryl group and hydrogen atom, is called as aldehyde. And suppose if the two alkyl or two aryl groups are satisfied by the two valencies of carbonyl, then it is called as a ketone. So aldehydes and ketones, we collectively call them as carbonyl compounds. There are some other compound, but for this, the C double bond O is the functional group responsible for the structure of aldehyde and ketones. That is, RCHO is an aldehyde, RCOR is a ketone. And one more fact, last time I have discussed is regarding the structure of carbonyl group. So this is very important. Before we move to that, let me remind you the naming nomenclature. Aldehydes are named on the basis of hydrocarbon structure. So hydrocarbon means alkanes. The alkane, because these are saturated, so alkane containing ANE, ALKANE. E of alkane is replaced by Al, so the resulting is alkanal. So RCHO generally reported as alkanal. R may be a single carbon, it may be two carbon, it may be 3, 4 or long chain of the hydrocarbon. But the condition is at its one end there must be CHO grouping, that is aldehyde group. So I have given some example here. So you can refer that example as the CH2O, that is formaldehyde containing one carbon, methane, so it is named as methanol. The next one is acetaldehyde, common name. In the UPAC name is ethanol. Similarly, the rest compounds I have shown. Then if benzene ring is attached to the CHO group, then it is called as a benzaldehyde. So for naming the aromatic aldehydes, benzaldehyde is the parent name for all aldehydes you have to keep in mind. Similarly, if any functional groups attached to the benzene ring, we have to count and give the number and then represent before the name of benzaldehyde. Now when you come to the ketones in UPAC name, again here alkane, ALKANE, E is replaced by ONE. So they are named as alkenones. Okay. So choose the longest carbon chain and write the number of carbonyl group with the lowest possible number, and then add the word ONE to the corresponding long chain. Okay, so I have given one specific example. Let us see. That is a ethyl methyl ketone. That is CH3, CH2, CO, CH3. So that CO group contains one side methyl group, another side ethyl group. So it is called as the ethyl methyl ketone. So commonly, but according to the UPAC naming, you have to consider all the carbon atoms in a chain with carbonyl group by number. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon means it's a butane. The butane A is replaced by ONE. Butane E you have to replace by ONE. It is a butanone. And position of the CO group is on carbon atom number 2. 2 butanone, 3 butanone, 2 pentanone. I have given some example. So please go through this. In case of aromatic ketones, the C6H5CO group is called as a phenone, generally treated as a phenone. And the R, it may be aromatic or it may be alkyl. For example, we have here acetophenone, CH3CO C6H5. It is a acetophenone. It can be named as phenyl ethanone. Similarly, other two examples I have given, that is cyclohexanone, diphenyl methanone. Okay, now already I have just discussing about this fact that structure and bonding in carbonyl compound. Well, you see C double bond O with the two valencies of carbon is a characteristic functional group required for aldehydes and ketones. And here the carbon atom C double bond O is sp2 hybridized and the molecule is a planar. And here the hybridization of carbon with oxygen is sp2 having a lone pair of electron on oxygen and unhybridized pz orbital on carbon and oxygen. And these unhybridized orbital will overlap to form a pi bond. So this I will show here. Now you can see in this case carbon with R and R dash, okay, that is with the C double bond O. How the C double bond O forms? The carbon to oxygen single bond, that is a sigma bond, and the green loops, they represent the pz orbital on carbon and pz orbital on the oxygen. So they will overlap. They will overlap sidewise to form a pi bond. Okay. So in general, I wanted to say that carbon with R and R dash, 2 sigma bonds, carbon with oxygen, 1 sigma bond, totally 3 sigma bond and a pi bond. And I have shown on oxygen yellow colored 2 balls. So these are nothing but the lone pair of electron on oxygen. And these lone pair of electron which are present on the oxygen are very important because they can undergo shift either to the other compound or to the same carbon compound depending upon the nature of the reaction system. Therefore, this lone pair of electron will make the entire carbonyl compound more reactive, and sometimes it is said to be a nucleophilic reagent like oxygen in carbonyl compound. So the sp2 hybridized carbon RCR dash O. All the three bonding is 120 degree, and this is a specific structure where the pi bonds. So pi bonds, as we know, they are very weak compared to the sigma bond. Whenever the particular reagent attacks or comes, then ultimately pi bond first opens, make the oxygen to exhibit negative charge, carbon to the positive charge. And this is why the carbonyl compounds play a vital role in most of the mechanism, because of the pi bond between carbon and oxygen. So the bond angle is 120. It is a planar molecule, and carbon to oxygen sigma bond, carbon to R sigma, carbon to R dash sigma, and the pi bond is a weak, which can used or which can make its part in most of the chemical reaction. Well, so with this, let us see the things. The next slide. Yes. So as I already told you, carbon to carbon sigma bond, carbon to oxygen sigma bond, again carbon to carbon sigma bond, and the loops of pz orbitals on carbon and oxygen, they will overlap above and below the molecule. The molecule is planar, so over the plane the pi bond are existing, and the bond angle between carbon to oxygen, carbon to carbon, carbon to oxygen is 120. So it looks a trigonal picture for this carbonyl group. And because of this, the possibility is shifting of electron. We will show carbon with a positive charge and oxygen with negative charge. So in most of the cases, we used to write polarized atom, that is polar charge, plus delta on carbon, minus delta on oxygen. So polarity of carbonyl group on the carbonyl is represented. And we have the resonating structure. So where the carbon to oxygen bond shapes already have quoted. So oxygen contains already 4 electrons, and these 2 electrons get added. So totally 6 electrons with negative charge, and carbon will be having positive charge. Therefore, the molecule will be polar in nature and possessing the resonating structures that I have shown here. Now, similarly, you can see the another thing, that because of this polar nature of carbonyl group, there exists a dipole moment. So dipole moment means because of the polar charge plus and minus, the molecule will show some kind of a moment. So that moment or a movement is called as a dipole moment. And the dipole moment for aldehydes is 2.3, and for ketones it is 2.8. So this is the basic idea to remember whenever we discuss regarding the certain chemical reactions of aldehyde and ketones. Now with this, I want to directly move to the another important factor, that is nucleophilic addition reactions. How the nucleophilic addition reactions of carbonyl compounds takes place. So last time I have shown this particular slide to you, that you can see the dipolar nature of carbon present in the carbonyl carbon. Carbon is delta plus and O, oxygen, is delta minus. When the nucleophile attacks, the C double bond O opens and the nucleophile attacks to the positive side, and you will get a carbon with nucleophile and the remaining 2 valency, oxygen with negative side. Then the next is when the protonation takes place. Protonation means addition of proton. Then positively charged H plus attacks to the oxygen to form additional product. So in case of nucleophilic addition, there is a addition of a nucleophile, addition of a proton to give additional product. So this kind of reaction can take place in 2 ways. One is base catalyzed reaction and acid catalyzed reaction. So in case of base catalyzed reaction, we have NuH, which is a weak reagent. It will react with a base to form a negatively charged nucleophile, which one is strong, and BH as a side product. So in case of acid catalyzed reaction, the catalytic reagent acids like HCl or water, or depending upon the nature of the reaction, the H plus is added to the reaction. So if the nucleophilic addition is done by base catalyzed reaction, NuHB will be there, and acid catalyzed reaction, direct H plus addition is there. Okay, now let us see the simplest mechanism. So here I want to tell you regarding the carbonyl group. So we know the carbonyl group undergo polarization. How that polarization takes place? So I have shown certain diagrams by handwritten, because it's very easy to explain with a handwritten structure rather than the ready-made or typed structures, because to show the moment of the bond or double bond, single bond, or shift of the or addition of the nucleophile or acid, that will be very easily represented with handwritten structure. That is why for this particular class I have used some slides which are handwritten. So you can see C double bond O. C double bond O, as already told you, oxygen is having a capacity to accept a lone pair of electron just by shift of carbonyl group, and make the oxygen with a 6 electron in with a negative charge, and carbon as a positive charge, because carbon to oxygen, just you can see how the bond is shifted. When you show the shift of the pi bond towards the oxygen, means carbon is losing, oxygen is getting, therefore plus minus. And this plus minus can be represented in a resonating structure with plus delta and minus delta. So please remember, for all the reactions we have to use this particular method, that there must be delta plus and delta minus on this particular carbonyl group. Okay, now to understand the mechanism, let us move a little by one. The general mechanism involves certainly two steps. So before that, the nucleophilic reagent NuH will break unsymmetrically and gives Nu minus nucleophilic reagent and H plus as an electrophile. Then in the first step, there is a formation of anion by the attack of the nucleophile. Well, whenever anybody want to explain the mechanism, we have to remember how the nucleophile or electrophile or even any neutral reagent will be added stepwise to the reacting system. So mechanism is nothing but explaining the single step reaction into a number of steps. Okay, so number of steps involves the formation of the product as the same, but even then how it takes place, that can be explained. In the first step, the nucleophile attacks to the positive side of the carbonyl group, and oxygen will get negative charge because there is a shift of the double bond between pi bond of the C double bond O. So oxygen will get minus charge and nucleophile will get attack. So on oxygen there are 6 electrons, and I have represented this as an anion only. Then in the second step, H plus, that is the electrophile, attacks to the that is the anion, to form the final product as the nucleophilic addition, that is CNuOH and the two valencies of the carbonyl group. So in general, we may write, that is carbonyl compound, you can show the shift, makes the oxygen negative, carbon positive. Nucleophilic attack, then O minus. Then that O minus is unstable, it is stabilized by sp2 hybridized with the minus delta 2. Minus delta is a polarized charge and minus charge is a accurate charge, therefore it is a stable form. So sp2 hybridized carbon anion is formed, which on react with a molecule of water to form, that is the additional product containing carbonyl carbon with Nu and OH. So nucleophilic substituted hydroxy products is the final product. Okay, now already I have given that this reaction may takes place either acid catalyzed or base catalyzed. I will discuss later. Now the another type of reaction that you may expect, that when aldehyde or ketone is treated with HNAU, that is a nucleophilic reagent, then addition of HNU takes place to form N attached to the carbon R and OH R dash. So this may lose a molecule of water, that is OH of the attached group and H on the present on the nucleophile will lose a molecule of water to form RCR double bond Nu. So nucleophile having H of the nucleophilic and OH of the same carbonyl group will eliminate a molecule of water, and thereby there is a formation of RC double bond NuH, that is a imines are formed. Okay, so this is how the things in addition and elimination reaction can take place. Okay, now keeping all this in mind, we move on to the mechanism of acid catalyzed reaction and the mechanism of base catalyzed reaction for carbonyl compound. Okay, now NuH is a reagent, carbonyl group already is there, so there is an addition of oxygen to hydrogen to oxygen as a OH group and Nu to the carbonyl. Now let us see. In this case, what happens? NuH is an electrophilic and nucleophilic reagent. It produces H plus, that is an electrophile. So in case of acid catalyzed reaction, first addition of H plus occurs, and whereby you may get C double bond O having minus delta and plus delta adds with H to form carbon with plus charge, oxygen with negative charge, but since the hydrogen is added, so it will get H with deficiency of electron. Then the C double bond O shift towards the oxygen and make carbon to exhibit plus. Okay, so this is how cation is formed. So in case of acid catalyzed reaction, the acid part H plus is added to form an cation that I have shown in the first step. In the second step, what happened? The attack of the nucleophile. So the nucleophile attacks is, and whereby the nucleophile move towards the carbon to form OH attached to carbon with nucleophile and two valencies. That is the addition product we're going to form. Okay, now come to the similar reaction, same product, but if there is a base catalyzed reaction. Base catalyzed means the nucleophilic reagent is a weak one and it should react with the base first. Okay, so base plus nucleophilic reagent forms BH plus nucleophile minus. Okay, so here first the base used in the catalyzed reaction will react with the reagent to produce nucleophile. Then the attack of the nucleophile is again same reaction that already we have discussed. Okay, you can see here. The carbonyl group in the first step is slow, attacks to the nucleophile to form anion. Then BH, the H will be added to the oxygen to form OH. Nu is already there and B minus. It is a fast reaction, additional product. Okay, so in both the case acid catalyzed and base catalyzed reaction, the hydroxy substituted nucleophilic addition product, that is CNuOH and two valencies, are common, but the way in which the addition can take place is differ. So in case of acid catalyzed reaction, acid will be added. In case of a base catalyzed reaction, it starts with a base. So these are the two important steps one has to remember for acid and base, because I have given, not these two are so much important, but I have given these two steps of the acid and base catalyzed reaction. Make you people familiar when you go for the rest of the reactions concerned to these aldehydes and ketones. Okay, now see the first reaction. Well, addition of hydrogen cyanide. So what is the addition of hydrogen cyanide? This reaction is last time I have given, but the mechanism this time we will discuss. So addition of hydrogen cyanide, HCN, to aldehydes, RCOH, R, C double bond O and H is an aldehyde or ketone. When treated with HCN, the cyano group adds and you will get RCOHHCN. That is a corresponding cyanohydrins of aldehyde or ketone will going to form. So in this case, HCN will ionize by reacting with base. It is a base catalyzed reaction to form cyano group and H plus. Okay, and that cyano group Cn minus will attack to the your negatively charged product to attack with aldehyde to form RCO minus H and Cn. Another molecule of HCN will make addition of H and cyano group again regenerated, and you will get the cyanohydrin RCHOHCN. Okay, so I will give you some specific example. When you take acetaldehyde and treat with HCN, there is a formation of CH3CHCnOH, acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. Similarly, if you consider ketone like acetone, acetone react with HCN to form CH3, COH, CH3 and Cn. So it's by mistake, it's only N, it's the Cn. So acetone cyanohydrin. Okay, so friends, please remember addition of HCN to the carbonyl compound leads to the formation of cyanohydrin. Example, acetaldehyde will going to form acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. Acetone will going to form acetone cyanohydrin. Okay, these are the reactions. Now let us move on to the other part, mechanism for this addition of HCN to your aldehydes and ketones. Okay, so what is the first step? The first step is very much clear, as already you have knowing that HCN undergo ionization with the base present in the solvent system to form H2O and a nucleophile Cn minus carrying lone pair of electron. Right? So once the cyano group is formed, then the second step of the mechanism, you write attack of the Cn minus to the carbonyl carbon to form anion. So you can see when the approach of Cn minus towards the carbonyl group takes place, so C double bond O contains the pi bond, it shifts and the minus delta will become minus oxygen and carbon will become plus charge. So the cyano group Cn minus directly attached to the carbon to form Cn attached to the carbon with the two valencies, and oxygen is having negative charge, anion will going to form. So attack of cyano group to the carbonyl group leads to the formation of a cyano product with negative charge on the oxygen. So generally I treat it as an anion part. This anion part in the last step of the reaction, third step, undergo protonation. So you may ask one question, what is a protonation? Proton, addition of proton is called as a protonation. Deprotonation means removal of the proton from the reaction system. Okay, so here what happened, the proton from the solvent system will going to add to the negatively charged anion to form a cyanohydrine. So H plus will going to add to the oxygen to form CN with OH group, cyanohydrine. Okay, so this is how the three steps which are involved in the mechanism steps for addition of HCN to the carbonyl compound. First one is ionization, and after the ionization, the nucleophile attacks to the carbonyl group to produce anion, and in the third step, the anion of cyano compound will get added to the proton, that is a protonation, to form cyanohydrine. Okay, now here note one thing, the cyanohydrine on corresponding hydrolysis you will get the carboxylic acid. So just I have quoted here. You can see RCHOH, aldehyde. On treating with HCN, there is a formation of RCHOH, C triple bond N. C triple bond N will broken as addition of water, OH and H, that is NH3 will be eliminated, and you will get carbon with OH, OH, OH. The carbon with 3 OH is highly unstable, that is I have represented in bracket, and here OH, H of this will be eliminated as a water molecule, and what is left is RCHOH, COOH. So a hydroxy carboxylic acid products are isolated. Now in the next case, if RCHOH with CN is subjected for reduction, so when you subject it for reduction, what happens? So on reduction, usually a reducing agent like lithium aluminum iodide or nickel hydrogen zinc dissolved in HCl, any reagent is used, right? So on reduction, what happened? This C triple bond N will be added with the hydrogen. So RCHOH, the carbon will become CH2 and the nitrogen will become NH2. So hydroxyl amines are formed. So cyanohydrine can undergo hydrolysis to form hydroxycarboxylic acids, can undergo reduction to form, that is an amine formation with OH group, that is hydroxyl amines will going to form. So this is a peculiar mechanism. Please remember, sometime 5 marks mechanism may be asked for you. So explain the mechanism of addition of HCN. So first write the reaction, then you go by explaining all the three steps one by one. The first one is formation of the nucleophile, the rupture reaction between OH and HCN, and attack of the CN minus to the carbonyl group to form anion, and that anion will undergo protonation to give the final product of your cyanohydrine. Okay. Now addition with the hydroxyl amine. So what is the hydroxyl amine? That already you may be knowing. R C double bond OH aldehyde or ketone CH3CO CH3 C double bond O. When treated with NH2 is a amino group attached with OH group. So this is called hydroxylamine, NH2OH. Okay, here the H2 of S, in this case H2 of hydroxylamine and oxygen will eliminated as water, and you will get a CH3CH double bond NOH. It is called acetaldehyde oxime if you are using acetaldehyde. If you are using ketone, that in CH3CO, CH3 acetone, so acetone oxime. So the addition of NH2OH takes place by removal of water between hydrogen and oxygen of the carbonyl group. And the mechanism for this reaction is here. Addition of hydroxylamine, for example, acetaldehyde will going to form acetaldehyde oxime. Acetone will going to form acetone oxime. Okay, so when you treat NH2OH to acetaldehyde, O of aldehyde and H2 of hydroxylamine will eliminate water to form CH3CH double bond NOH, that is acetaldehyde. Similarly, when you take acetone CH3COCH3 and treat with a hydroxylamine, water will be eliminated and you will get acetone oxime CH3CO N double bond OH. That is carbon with double bond NOH is an oxime group. Acetoxime will going to form. Right. For this, the following steps are involved in the mechanism part. So you are familiar with that carbonyl group, which is having plus delta on carbon and minus delta on oxygen. So first step is protonation. Protonation is addition of proton. The H plus from the solvent system will attack to the oxygen to form OH, and carbon will get delta charge, plus charge. In the next step, what happened? The hydroxylamine NH2OH. So here NH2OH, nitrogen contains lone pair of electron and it acts as a neutral nucleophile. There is no doubt nucleophile. Nucleophiles are those which are having a lone pair of electron on a particular atom. So here in this case, what happened? The pentavalent nitrogen will have a lone pair of electron. Okay, and these lone pair of electrons will act as a nucleophile for that nitrogen. So NH2OH contains lone pair of electron is a nucleophile. So during this, what happened? Nucleophile attached to the C plus carbon to form C yes, two valencies and COH. Okay, and the another fourth valency on the central carbon will make bonding between carbon and nitrogen. Okay, so carbon and nitrogen, and whatever the charge of the positive charge on the carbon, it shifts towards the nitrogen and you will get unstable product. I repeat here, carbon C and two valencies with OH group attached to the nitrogen having HHOH group, and carbon will get positive charge, and this cation, let me say amino cation, is unstable. Okay, so immediately this amino cation will try to lose a proton. This is called a deprotonation. So what happened here is the structure of unstable molecule you can consider in the second step. At it undergo deprotonation, removal of the proton. Okay, so whereby this product, that is carbon with two valency with OH group as it is, H will be removed and you will get HOH, NHOH. OH. Okay, so this is a second step. In the third step, there is the addition of water molecule takes place. Sorry, elimination of water molecule takes place. The OH group of the carbon, the OH group of this carbon and hydrogen of the N group will be eliminated as a water molecule. At that time, there generates carbon to nitrogen double bond. Okay, that is oxime. See, carbon with 2 valency and OH group of the carbon will be eliminated, and the proton from the nitrogen is also eliminated, whereby deprotonation takes place with the elimination of water molecule and carbon to nitrogen double bond formation occurs. So thus you will get carbon carbon double bond NOH, your oxime. So sometime in examination they may ask the question, write the mechanism of addition of hydroxylamine to aldehyde or ketone. So first, generally you have to remember, either you can take acetaldehyde or acetone. The formation of corresponding oximes with a specific example you have to write. And while writing the mechanism, you have to write the carbon with positive charge. Protonation makes carbon with a positive charge will react with your hydroxylamine, and unstable molecule of anion will going to cation, amino cation will going to form. So that amino cation will undergo deprotonation to form intermediate stable product, and that contains carbon with OH, nitrogen with H. Again it will lose a molecule of water to form oxime. So this is the simplest way you have to remember. Similarly, when you think of addition of water molecule to the aldehydes, so this is a different reaction not connected to this, but the space is there, I have added this reaction. Well, so you can see here addition of water molecule to aldehydes or ketones. Okay, RCOR when treated with water, H2O, the H is H plus and OH minus, water splits like this, and H is added to the oxygen to form hydroxyl group, and the OH as a nucleophile is added to the carbon, so hydrate. Okay, RCOH, ROH, and the product is called as a hydrate. Addition of water molecule. Hydration means addition of H2O. So OH, H is added to the oxygen and OH is added to the carbon. So ketone will get converted into the hydrated ketone. Acetone you can take. So here for acetone molecule there is a formation of propane 1,2-diol. 1,2-diol. So this is a specific reaction that we will discuss the mechanism of this later on. Okay, keeping all on your mind. So let us move on to addition of alcohols. So how the addition of alcohol takes place, particularly for these aldehydes and ketones. So when the aldehyde and ketones, you can see RCOH is added with an alcohol molecule. So what you get? Addition of this molecule. R-OH is an alcohol, or R1OH is an alcohol, primary alcohol. Then here the OH group attached to the carbon and the O will be added with the R dash. So you will get a RCOHHOR1, a ester molecule. ROR is an ester. So it is called as a hemiacetyl formation. This hemiacetyl will react with another molecule of alcohol, that is R3OH. So you will get two OR groups, OR1 and OR2 get added. So you will get a product called as a hemiacetal. Hemiacetal. So it's a very simple reaction. You can see aldehyde react with the first molecule to form hemiacetal. Hemiacetal react with another molecule of alcohol to form a diester product that is called acetal. Okay, with the elimination of water. So most of the time the examiner may be very cautious to ask this question. Explain the mechanism of alcohol to aldehydes or ketones, or explain the mechanism of formation of hemiacetal and acetyl in case of aldehydes and ketones. So for that you have to remember this sequence of reaction. So here I have given if you take an aldehyde and treat with alcohol, there is a formation of hemiacetal. Hemiacetal again react with this, the same reaction I have given, a acetal. Okay, acetals are also known as gum diethers. Diethers. R-O-R, not esters. It is a ether. So let me again consider this hemiacetal molecule. RCOH. This is a alkyl group. Then OR1. R1O and the entire big R group. So it is a ROR is a ROR is an ether, not esters. So just forget it. ROR ROR1. It is your ether. Similarly, with second molecule, the two ether type functional groups are attached to the carbon. So it is called as acetyl. Okay. So when aldehydes and ketones treated with alcohol, there is a first formation of hemiacetal. Then hemiacetal react with another molecule to form acetyl. Okay. So let us see the mechanism. What exactly the mechanism involved in it? So it is acid catalyzed reaction. So acid will ionize to give H plus and Cl minus. Right? Now, in the first case, the H plus produced by the solvent HCl will attack to your aldehyde or ketone to form H added to the oxygen to form OH plus. Still there is a double bond between carbon to oxygen. RCH double bond OH plus. But the lone pair of electron, that is a pi bond, shift towards the oxygen. Make the carbon to get positive charge, H and OH will be attached. So please remember this first step is very essential. Protonation of aldehyde to form cation. So H plus present in the solvent system, attack to the oxygen, RCH double bond OH. So still the C double bond OH is there, the oxygen will get positive charge. It is a deficient of electron, like an electrophile. So the lone pair of electron present in the pi bond system, it shift towards the plus charge oxygen, make the carbon to get positive charge. When the shift of carbon to oxygen takes place, oxygen will become stable with the lone pair of electron. Carbon has lost the pi bond, therefore whenever it is a loss, there is a plus charge. Okay. Now come to the addition of a R-OH alcohol to this cation. So alcohol contains R-OH. The O is having lone pair of electron, and these lone pair of electron present on the oxygen are unstable. Generally they move towards the cation, carbon, and there is a formation of R-OH attached to the RCHOH, and this will lose a proton, that is loss of proton. Deprotonation takes place to form RCHOH and the same carbon attached with OR dash. that is hemiacetyl will going to form. The first molecule of a alcohol react with your carbonyl compound to form hemiacetyl by the sequence of reaction. So in the first step, protonation to give cation. In the second step, addition of alcohol to form intermediate cation, and which again lose a proton to form hemiacetyl. So this is the second step. In the third step, what happens is addition of again proton takes place, protonation occurs, and the protonated molecule will have 1, 2, 3, 4 structures. So please zoom it and note it correctly, particularly this reaction. Step 3, protonation, elimination of water molecule is possible. The OH will take a proton to form, OH group will take a proton to form H plus, and that OH will lose a molecule of water to form C with positive charge H and OR dash. Okay, this is a formation. So in general, what we represent? Yes. Yes. The hemiacetyl molecule protonated and you will get H plus and lose a molecule of water to form R C plus H OR dash, or you can write this as a lone pair of electron shift to form R C H double bond O plus and R. Okay, in the next step, the second molecule of alcohol, that is R double dash H, containing lone pair of electron, shift towards the carbon, and whereby the addition will give the cation part as it is, and the ROH alcohol will get added with a positive charge shifted towards the oxygen, OHR dash with a positive charge, and this positive charged oxygen will lose a proton. I have made H as a round and elimination is outside. That is called a deprotonation takes place, and finally you will get your acetyl RCHOR dash R and same OR double dash. So your acetyl formation is possible. So please remember this reaction, that is addition of your alcohol to the aldehyde or ketone. First there is a formation of hemiacetyl by reaction of aldehydes or ketone with the first molecule of alcohol, and in the second phase the second molecule of alcohol adds to the hemiacetyl molecule to form acetyl. So please all of you note these reactions are very simple. Only thing is, wherever there is a shift, wherever there is a protonation or deprotonation is very important as far as this formation of ester is concerned. Now we move on to the other reaction. A mechanism of formation of cyclic acetyl with reference to aldehydes and ketones. Okay, now in the earlier case we have taken a simple alcohol molecule and treated with the aldehydes and ketone. Here in this case, formation of cyclic acetyl product, here a dihydric alcohol, ethylene glycol is used. So when the ethylene glycol is treated with your carbonyl group, that is aldehydes and ketones, now let us see, that is aldehydes or ketones containing C double bond O. O will have negative charge and carbon will have positive charge. So when the protonation takes place, O is negative, attacks or move towards the H, okay, and thereby there is a formation of OH plus and C double bond O. It is as it is, a ketonic group containing OH with a positive charge. Now it will react with a dihedric molecule OHCH2 CH2OH. A dihedric molecule will react with this, and here what happens is the positively charged carbon oxygen will react with a lone pair of electron of a glycol. So you will get OH C double bond CC, then still H is there and plus charge CH2 CH2OH. Okay, so what happened? The addition of lone pair of electron from ethylene glycol towards the oxygen to form this cation. This cation undergo removal of the proton. Just I have made n circling the proton, and that will give you elimination of proton will give you OHCO CH2 CH2OH. Okay, so half of the molecule where the aldehyde or ketone get attached to the oxygen atom of ethylene glycol by removal of a proton. Now again protonation takes place, addition of proton. The first in the previous step there is a removal of proton, deprotonation, again the protonation from the solvent system. Now here what happened? Let us see. Proton is added. When the proton is added to this particular dotted ion shown OH, it will become H2O. So H2O become plus because proton hydrogen contains plus charge, so it will generate a plus. Then now what happened? You can see H2O plus is unstable. It try to lose its molecule. So when there is a loss of molecule of water takes place, then lone pair of electron on the oxygen will create carbon to oxygen double bond. Okay, so you can see C double bond O with the two valencies of the carbon, and CH2 CH2 and OH. Now here OH, as you know, lone pair of electrons are always free. So those lone pair of electron, what they will do, they will move towards the carbonyl carbon, and at this stage the oxygen containing positive charge will also get a lone pair of electron from the pi bond system. So what happened? The OH group of CH2 group of the ethylene glycol containing lone pair of electron move towards the carbonyl carbon, and at the same time the deficient plus charge species of oxygen will get stabilized by shift of a pi bond of carbonyl group, and you will get this product, that is CH2 CH2 OH and O, a cyclic product with your the valencies of a carbon group. Now let us see. This molecule will lose a proton, that is a deprotonation takes place, and you will get OCH2 CH2O with a carbon having the two valencies of either aldehydes, that is either hydrogen atoms or alkyl aryl groups. So these are called as cyclic ketals. Cyclic ketals. So cyclic acetals or ketals, depending upon the H or R, whatever the functional group attached to these valencies. So this is the mechanism. So please remember, friends, in particularly for your syllabus, whatever the reactions I have shown here, okay, they are the mechanism steps. So sometimes they may ask for a 5 marks question, the mechanism. As far as possible, if you understood or understand the only one reaction mechanism, then the rest of the mechanisms are very simple and very easy to understand. Now, keeping all these in mind, now let us complete today's discussion, and we will go next time the other part of the this system, that is name reaction, Aldol reaction, Kenizo reaction, and rest. So, with these words, I want to complete my today's discussion, and I hope if you repeatedly watch these, or if you practice at home once or twice in the mechanism part, it is very easy to understand. Otherwise, the mechanism will make confuse. So please practice the reactions without fail. And now, finally, one word: stay at home with mask and social distance. Thank you. Thank you.